Welcome to JAG Companies. You are now working for a family of companies that are sincere in their desire to safely conduct all of our operations. We are committed to providing the proper training, personal protection equipment, tools and equipment, not only for job efficiency, but primarily for the safety of all employees. Working safely is a critical part of your job. You and every member of this company are members of our safety program. But any successful safety program must involve the cooperation and commitment of all employees. Everyone must follow the guidelines set forth in this video and in the company's safety and health policies and procedures to make the program work. And please remember, safety, it's not optional. You are required to wear clothing suited to the work you'll be performing. The company's minimum requirements include full-length pants, a shirt that covers the shoulders, and substantial footwear. Safety-toed shoes are recommended and may be mandatory at some locations. Your clothing should be in good condition and never a hazard to your personal safety. Company-issued hard hats, safety vests, and safety glasses should be worn at all times when working in the field. Personally supplied prescription safety glasses must adhere to American National Standards Institute requirements. This includes frames, lenses, and solid side shields. If they fail to meet ANSI requirements, you will be supplied with and expected to wear additional protection in the form of over-the-glasses safety glasses or goggles during your time in the field. You are also required to wear a face shield in addition to safety glasses whenever you operate a grinder, chop saw, or any tool that has the potential to injure your eyes and face. The company will supply additional personal protective equipment as needed based on work assignments and area conditions. This equipment may include, but is not limited to, additional eye, hearing, face protection, personal flotation devices, hand, fall, and respiratory protection. All defective or damaged PPE should never be used. Personal protective equipment alone should not be relied on to provide protection against hazards. It should be used together with guards, engineering controls, and sound construction practices to keep you safe. It is the policy of JAG Companies to take any and all practical measures possible to prevent employees from being injured by falls from heights. We fully comply with the OSHA fall protection standards. First priority is given to the elimination of fall hazards using guards or handrails. If a fall hazard cannot be eliminated effectively, further protection will be planned, implemented, and subsequently monitored to minimize the risk of injury due to a fall. Employees exposed to potential falls of 6 feet or more are required to wear fall protection equipment. The company will supply all employees exposed to possible fall hazards with a full body harness. Superintendents and the foreman are responsible for the implementation and enforcement of a fall protection plan for each job site and for selecting the appropriate fall protection systems and equipment. All fall protection equipment must be inspected before each use for any damage and to ensure the equipment is complete and in good operating condition. The following are examples of situations where fall protection is required: wall openings, holes, leading edge construction, excavations, working from scaffolding and ladders. Remember that anyone exposed to a fall greater than 6 feet must utilize appropriate fall protection equipment. If you have any questions concerning fall protection equipment or procedures, ask your superintendent or foreman before beginning work. Following these basic safety rules can prevent unnecessary injuries when using hand and power tools. Examine each tool for damage before use. Apply regular maintenance to keep tools in good condition. Always use the proper protective equipment. Always operate tools according to the manufacturer's instructions. Never remove or disable guards for any reason. Immediately remove any damaged tools or equipment from service and tag them "Do Not Use." Power tools can be hazardous when used incorrectly. There are several types of power tools based on the power source they use: electric, pneumatic, gas, hydraulic, and power actuated. Work areas must be kept as clean and dry as possible to prevent accidental slips when using dangerous power tools. When using power tools, you should observe the following general precautions. Never carry a tool by the cord or hose. Never yank the cord or hose to disconnect it from the receptacle. Disconnect tools when not in use, before servicing, and when changing accessories like blades, bits, or cutters. Use appropriate safety devices like hose whips, safety pins, guards, and shields. Tools should be carefully maintained and kept sharp and clean to ensure the best possible performance. Before beginning any excavation, the location of all underground utilities must be determined. This can be accomplished by contacting the local one-call center for the area. All utility markout requests must be documented using the proper forms. It may be necessary to survey your specific work locations to determine if there are any unmarked utilities in your area. Look for manholes, blow-offs, or utility monuments that may indicate the presence of an underground utility. Be sure to confirm the markouts are current and renew the markouts as required. The 3 basic protective systems JAG Companies provides to protect you in an excavation and trench are sloping and benching, engineered shoring, and trench boxes. All protective systems must have the capacity to resist, without failure, all loads that are intended or could reasonably be expected to be applied to the system. Exceptions to using protective systems are excavations less than 5 feet deep that have been declared safe by a foreman or other competent person, or if the excavations are located entirely in stable rock. There are several items that must be checked before anyone enters the excavation area and work commences. Workers are supplied with and expected to wear personal protective equipment as per the company's safety policies. All spoil piles and materials are stored a minimum of 2 feet from the edge of the excavation. If a trench or excavation is 4 feet or deeper, ladders must be used to safely access and exit the hole. This ladder must extend a minimum of 36 inches above the trench or excavation and be located no more than 25 feet from where employees are working in the trench or excavation. Place the ladder on firm footing and secure it to prevent displacement. Ensure the area at the base of the ladder remains clear of material, tools, scraps, and any other debris that could block access to the ladder. Never carry materials or tools up a ladder. Instead, use a hand line. Inspect ladders for defects like split side rails, cracked, broken, or missing rungs before use. Defective ladders must be removed from service immediately. Remember to always face the ladder and properly grip the side rails with both hands when ascending or descending. Ladders present unique opportunities for unsafe acts and unsafe conditions. Always use caution when working with ladders. No employee shall work in an excavation where water is accumulating unless adequate measures like pumps are used to protect them. A foreman shall inspect all excavations and trenches twice daily prior to employee entry and after any rainfall, soil change, or as needed during the shift. Prompt measures shall be taken to eliminate all hazards. Excavation work can be extremely hazardous. Trenching collapses, falling objects, vehicles, and personnel, plus the undermining of the roadway or nearby structures are all dangers associated with excavation. Never be tempted to take shortcuts. The risks are too great. Always excavate using safe digging procedures. Always check for evidence of failure or cave-ins and ensure trench supports are secure at the start of your shift. The The chief hazards associated with electric power tools are electrocution and shocks. Even a minor current can result in severe injuries under certain conditions. A shock can also cause a user to fall off a ladder or other elevated work surfaces. For these reasons, anything concerning the use of electricity is considered very serious. The company will provide GFCI protection, ground fault circuit interrupter, for all non-permanent electrical supply outlets. This includes temporary power supplied in the field. This power is provided by inline GFCIs to prevent electrocution. GFCIs shall be tested on a regular basis. Electric power tools must have a 3-wire cord with a grounding conductor and be powered by a GFCI power source to protect you from shock. 3-wire cords contain 2 current-carrying conductors and a grounding conductor. One end of the grounding conductor connects to the GFCI. The other end is grounded through a prong on the tool's metal housing. All electrical cords and hand tools must be inspected for damage or missing grounding plugs at the beginning of each shift prior to use. Extension cords with damaged insulation must be removed from service immediately. Never attempt to repair a damaged cord with electrical tape or duct tape. Tools must be unplugged and stored in a dry place when not in use. Only use equipment that has passed a daily inspection. You will be exposed to motor vehicles and heavy equipment during your daily work activity. Proper safety practices should be followed to reduce the risk of injury and equipment damage. Only properly trained, licensed, and qualified personnel are authorized to operate company vehicles and equipment. Drivers and all passengers must be in the designated seat and wearing seat belts as required by law. Riding the bumpers, buckets, flatbeds, or running boards is not permitted under any circumstances. Drivers and operators must perform daily inspections. Check that the windshield and other windows are intact and clean. Ensure all mirrors are clean and in proper working condition. Inspect the windshield wipers, lights, and indicator lights. Check all fluid levels. Check the tires for wear and tear and proper pressure. Any vehicles or equipment not in safe working order must not be operated until the deficiencies are corrected. Report any problems to your immediate supervisor. Backup alarms must be in good working order and audible at all times. Any alarms not working must be fixed immediately or the equipment shut down until the alarm is repaired. There are no exceptions to this rule. Operate all vehicles at the posted speed limits and always pay attention to your surroundings. Special attention should be paid when transporting materials and machinery with a vehicle or trailer. When towing equipment, ensure safety chains are attached and crossed. Use safety or cotter pins if necessary to secure the load. Check that the brake lights and indicator lights are in good working order and hooked up correctly. Ensure any load being transported by flatbed truck is properly secured. Ensure the bed area is clean of mud and debris to prevent it spilling onto the roadway. All materials must be properly cribbed and secured to prevent shifting during transportation. Use nylon ratchet binders, chains, or stake sides and cover the load if necessary. Perform a walk-around inspection prior to departure and ensure to visually inspect the load during transportation and stops. Using a handheld mobile phone while driving a vehicle or operating heavy equipment is forbidden at all times. It is not only unsafe, but it is also against the law in many states. The same applies to sending and receiving of text messages and emails when driving a vehicle or operating heavy equipment. Housekeeping is one of the most important aspects of ensuring a safe working environment and must be addressed in and around your work area on a daily basis. Neatly pile or remove all scrap lumber to prevent tripping hazards. Bend all protruding nails over immediately to eliminate any potential for injury. Take the time to keep your work areas clean and secure your work site. All equipment must be locked away at the end of each workday to combat loss. Use the locks provided. Use a safety fence to prevent people from entering the worksite for your protection as well as that of the public's. Use road plates, barricades, netting, or a safety fence to protect any excavations left open overnight. We conduct a daily job hazard analysis (JHA) review with each crew member on every JAG company job site at the start of each shift. A JHA is a procedure which helps integrate accepted safety and health principles and practices into a particular task or job operation. The goal is to identify potential hazards and recommend the safest way to perform each step of a particular task. Other terms used to describe this procedure are Job Hazard Breakdown (JHB) or Hazardous Task Analysis (HTA). During the daily JHA review, you will be instructed on your job assignments for the day and helped to identify the potential hazards associated with each task and how to mitigate and/or manage those hazards. These JHA reviews will be conducted each day by the foreman or site supervisor at the start of each shift. These are very important meetings and your attendance and participation are mandatory. Special safety requirements apply if your task requires you or others to work over or near water. All gangways used to access vessels or barges are required to be equipped with handrails and cleating to prevent slips and falls. If night work is planned, the gangway must be lit for proper visibility. Coast Guard approved personal flotation devices, PFDs, or work vests must be worn at all times, except inside offices and eating break rooms. PFDs must be worn with all zippers and buckles secured as designed by the manufacturer. Defective or damaged PFDs must be removed from service immediately and replaced with fresh gear. Ring buoys must be equipped with 90 feet of line readily available within 100 feet in any direction. Ring buoys must be inspected and maintained in case of emergency. This list of safety precautions for working over and around water is not inclusive. A more detailed review of safety requirements will be provided on a job-by-job basis. During your employment with JAG companies, you may be required to work with chemicals or chemical compounds. The company maintains chemical inventory lists in the form of SDS, safety data sheets. An SDS sheet contains 16 sections of safety information. These include manufacturer information, hazardous ingredients, composition and ingredients, first aid measures, firefighting measures, accidental release, handling and storage, exposure controls, physical chemical properties, stability and reactivity, toxicology, and latest revisions. You have the right to request a copy of any SDS sheet for any chemicals that you're asked to work with. OSHA's Confined Space Standard is intended to protect workers from toxic, explosive, or asphyxiating atmospheres, from possible engulfment or entrapment, and from other hazards. All employees required to enter confined or enclosed spaces shall be trained as to the nature of the hazards involved, the necessary precautions, and the use of the required protective and emergency equipment. No entry into a confined or enclosed space is permitted without the required safety procedures and equipment being present and in place, i.e., rescue services, calibrated air monitor, entry log, escape pack, harnesses, tripod, air movers. Confined space training is mandated for anyone working in a confined or enclosed space. This includes authorized entrants, attendants, and entry supervisors. Employees who have not received the appropriate level of training are not permitted to enter a confined space. Please contact the Corporate Safety Director with any questions or concerns. The first step to ensuring employees' safety is to eliminate the need for respiratory protection by using less toxic materials or providing engineering controls when feasible to reduce respiratory hazards. Respiratory protection is the last resort in protecting employees from exposure to harmful chemicals and not a substitute for other feasible control measures. Respirators are an important item of protective equipment when working in hazardous environments. Selecting the right respirator requires an assessment of the workplace operations, processes, and environments that present a respiratory hazard. Under no circumstances should an employee be allowed to utilize a respirator before first being properly trained, medically cleared, and fit tested. The JAG companies enforce their company safety and health policies as follows. We issue a verbal warning for the first violation. We issue a written warning for the second violation. A third violation could result in your termination. A blatant violation of company policies is also grounds for immediate dismissal. Drug testing may be required and is determined on a job-to-job basis. In closing, we would like to say that the JAG companies are dedicated to providing you, our employees, with a safe, healthy work environment. This can only be achieved with your commitment and help. By working together, we can maintain our position as one of the leaders in the construction industry. Please report any unsafe conditions to your immediate supervisor or foreman, and remember, there is no job so important that we cannot take the time to perform our work safely.
Hi, I'm Rolly Acosta, President and CEO of JAG Companies, the parent company of Northeast Remsco Construction, Caldwell Marine International, and Huckstead Trenchless. I hope you enjoyed this introduction to our health, safety, and environmental program. At JAG Companies, we stand behind our safety motto, safety, it's not optional. We continuously strive to foster an HSE culture built on the foundational cornerstones of our core values: reputation, work ethic, team accomplishment. The mutual expectation for HSE commitment is very high. Our commitment to you and your fellow team members is unwavering. Vigilant personal responsibility and team member ownership to our program ensures that everyone goes home safely after every shift. As you begin your shift, please remember these key elements of our safety program. Safety is everyone's responsibility. Every employee has the right to utilize the JAG Company's Stop Work Authority when a prohibited condition exists. Employees are encouraged to identify areas requiring improvement. All incidents and near misses must be reported to your immediate supervisor at the time of the event. HSE training is available to every employee, and effective environmental health and safety performance will be recognized throughout each year. Thank you, and I look forward to helping you create the safest working environment possible for your family and ours.